This is kind of cool. Large mayapple patch. We're kind of in an upland area, so it's not as lush as some of the patches we've seen so far this year. You can see them here close. Most of the overstory, once again, is Quercus alba, white oak. There's a shagbark right in front of the camera. Here's a plant that I thought you guys might like. It's blue phlox. There's quite a bit of it out here. It's kind of scattered. This is a pretty impressive mayapple patch. Kind of turn around and we'll get the overview of it, kind of down slope. Get a pretty good view of it from here. It's been cool and dry this spring, so we're not seeing as much growth as we typically would. Picking up some really beautiful flowers down here. Blue phlox once again. There's quite a few little bunches scattered through here. You can pick them up on the camera, hopefully. There's an angry bumblebee. Some more. You can see them scattered throughout this sparse mayapple patch. All the way up this hillside. We're picking them out. Just kind of scattered about. See them in the distance. Very beautiful color saturation today. There's quite a few of these right on this more mesic slope. Kind of swing around to where I was at, not too far from the intermittent stream. The overstory, we have some black walnut, some sugar maple, some Ohio buckeye. There's a shrub down here that I've shown you, I think, before. It's called spice bush. Very fragrant stems and leaves. And then once again, we can see some pawpaw just starting to come out. The leaves are just starting to merge. There's another one. So all these look like sticks sticking straight up out of the ground. These are all pawpaws in through here. Beautiful mesic area. I thought you guys would enjoy this. I showed you pictures of this earlier, I think, in class. But this is a zone that's a seep zone. There's a lot of skunk cabbage up all the way through this draw. You see the skunk cabbage right here. We talked about that plant earlier in class. It's a plant that actually can make its own heat, and the flowers actually come through the snow. So I'll walk over here a bit. You can see up this draw, there's a lot of water coming down through here. This is going to be all full of skunk cabbage. You guys can see that. The tree above it's Ohio buckeye, it's in bloom. And we're on the kind of the floodplain of the Mississinewa River. So the Mississinewa River is about 75, 80 meters beyond the camera. So these seep zones are really areas of high productivity. A lot of biomass. Get over here closer to the Ohio buckeye. And you can see the bloom. There's a secondary seep over here. Try to get to it. See all the skunk cabbage. So where the water seeps down, it provides enough moisture for this wetland species. The leaves are pretty large, so kind of give you an idea of the size of the leaf. And they have kind of an acrid smell as you walk through them, if you bruise the leaf. So on this floodplain, there's a lot of large trees here that are the American sycamore. We also have quite a few box elder. There's this species right here, right in front of me. A lot of this is growing. And earlier in the semester we talked about stinging nettle. This is the wood nettle. And here's a little intermittent, well, not really intermittent, but it's a stream, low flow stream that flows into the Mississinewa. And this is really a floodplain forest that we're seeing out here. And many of these floodplain forests will actually categorize out as a wetland. I think this one will. There's several wetland plants that are growing right in this area. A couple species of sedges. There's an angelica that's growing here. They're all plants that need really wet conditions. This gives you kind of a 360 look at where we're at. Dead elm tree here. Then we're back to that seep that I was at earlier. I'll turn off the camera. Kind of raining a little bit right now, but this is one of the largest patches of Mayapples we have in the Arboretum. Kind of give you a little idea of the scope of this patch. Once again, remember these guys are cryptophytes, so that the perennial buds are located below the surface of the soil. Just kind of walk around this patch just to show you how large it is. Most of the trees in the overstory are oaks and hickories. Some of the understory trees we have are Ohio buckeye in places. The prickly ash once again. So you can see how large this mayapple patch is. I'm going to walk the entire perimeter of this thing. It's one of the biggest ones in the Arboretum. There's even more of it that goes down over this edge. Kind of walk through it here. Pretty amazing. Really amazing. There's some pawpaw that are just starting to leaf out. Get back to where I was at initially. It's a pretty large patch. So we're in the first week of May. Pretty soon the things will be flowering. Here's another very large mayapple patch. It's pretty impressive. Kind of take you around it a little bit. Let's see. This might be as big as the last patch, maybe even a little bigger. It's more dispersed. Kind of dispersed down through here. This whole clonal patch might be one organism. And it could be older, most likely it's older than the oldest tree species in the overstory. This gets a real good view of the patch. These large grapevines here. I'll walk up this deer trail a bit. This is a huge patch. Pretty impressive.